I have a little thrift store haul to share. Went out thrifting a few days ago. I was specifically looking for some leather to make one of those Midori travel journal things. Couldn't find any. I actually found where all of the leather coats in Houston go to die, which is really neat. It was this one thrift store, I kid you not, hundreds of leather and suede coats of all kinds, you know, long coats, short coats, jackets, everything in every awful color you can imagine. They had them. They have no shortage of leather coats, but unfortunately they're not the weight that I need. I need a heavier leather, you know, like you make a purse out of, and they didn't have anything over in the purses that would work. But that did not stop me from picking up a few things that I felt that I needed. One thing is this tablecloth. I felt that I needed this tablecloth because it's pink and it's cute and it matches my house, and it's, you know, more of a tablecloth overlay than a standalone tablecloth, but I liked it and it was $1, so I bought it. As I was looking for leather, the purses just were not, they weren't big enough, and the ones that were, the leather wasn't heavy enough. But I did find this little guy, this little Brighton purse, and I think I paid $5 for it. But I looked at it, I could look at it, what do you see? Because I don't see a purse. I see a book that opens like that. And then you carry it with you, right? Right? It just wants to be a book. I know that it does because I can just see it opening that way. And it needs to be bound up here where this thing is somehow, and I just don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to use that. And like I said, the jackets and things were not really the right weight of leather, but the prices were so good, I still felt like I should probably buy one or two and then figure out what to do with them. Because, you know, I can use the leather to make any kind of journal cover. That's not a big deal. The Midori itself, you kind of need a heavier one because of the elastic and all. But, you know, you can still use a thinner piece of leather just like you would a piece of fabric. So I got these. I got this one. I found this leather jacket, and it was marked $30, but they had all their leather coats right now are like half off. So I got it for $15. And it's one that, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it. If I wanted to wear it, it's a decent coat. If I didn't want to wear it, I'm going to take it apart. And I didn't mind the $15 price tag for a couple of reasons. Well, one main reason is because, and this is what I looked for on all of the leather that I picked up, I turned it over on the back to see how big the pieces were between the seams. Because, you know, some of them, depending on how they're made, they'll have no seam in the back at all. And then others have, they're like really pieced and have lots of seams. And I wanted big pieces of leather with no seam. And this one does have that. All, you know, two huge back panels, and even the sleeves, they have a long piece. The whole front of it doesn't have any kind of seam at all. So that is why I chose that. And I found this one to kind of go with it, because, you know, they kind of go together or coordinate well. And this is just a little women's leather jacket, or suede, really. This is like the softest suede I've ever felt in my life. It is just incredibly soft and amazing. And on the back, if you can see, it's got a seam here, one down the middle, but this is longer than your average jacket. You know, it's kind of mid-thigh length, so the panels are really long. So I can do stuff with that. And you know, the same in the front. The pieces, the leather is where the seams, where it's seam free, are long. They're narrow, but they're long. So this was good, and it was $4.50 for good suede. So I grabbed it. I was real happy with that. And I will go back there anytime I'm needing leather for anything, because they've got it and they've got it cheap. So yeah, glad I found that place. And while I was also milling around in there, I came across this wedding dress. Can you see? Do I need this one? And I have bought several wedding dresses. This is not my first wedding dress, you know, to pick apart. But it's hard to find them at a decent price. You know, I think the last one I bought, I maybe paid $45 for it. But here's what I look for. I don't really care what the fabric looks like. I don't normally keep it. I usually just put it in a box and send it to the Goodwill or something, because I don't have much of a use for this shiny, satiny stuff. What I look for is the lace and the appliques. This one had, now this up here might be kind of difficult to remove because I don't know, it's difficult to tell if it's how it's sewn in. But on the back, it had this nice long train that you can't really see. And then it has these little appliques that are in areas that are cut out. So those have been really easy to remove. And then it's got some long pieces around there. I've already taken the trim off of the bottom, and this is what I pulled off of it. And it is like yards and yards and yards of this trim stuff that's got all the little tiny little beads and sequins. And I mean, it's just beautiful. I paid $18 for the wedding dress, by the way. You know, you can't buy this much of this kind of trim for $18, not even close. So, you know, it was well worth it. Just a little bit of effort sitting in front of the TV to pull the seams out, and then I've got all of this pretty trim. And these are the appliques that are coming off of the back, and they're pretty. See, they've got the little sequins and the little beads on them. So I'll have a whole bunch of those when I'm done. So this is just really good for scavenging parts for lace and trim and appliques and stuff. And, you know, like I said, I could not have gone out and bought these things for $18, and that's what I paid for the dress. And then there's always some interesting things that you pick off of them. These were on the sleeves, and you know, okay, but I like these little dangly bead things. I'll use those. And then there's this. Oh, I'm trying really hard not to judge this dress because I have one very similar to it upstairs. Mine does not have this. Nothing should ever have this. But yeah, anyway, it's an adventure. So that was my haul. I think maybe $45 I spent. I got 2 leather coats, a leather purse, a tablecloth, and a wedding dress. So yeah, I'm going to be going back to that place quite often. It's not in a very good area of town, but I will risk life and limb for those kind of prices again. So that's all I have. Till next time. The end.